fighting back and, of course, making their own weapons. And there's people with the knowledge to do it. But if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to do something bad to yourself. The pictures there, those are pipe bombs. If you make your own RPG out of stuff that you got at the lumber yard, that's what you got to look forward to, is that shit being embedded in your head, your neck, your shoulders. It won't be a good day. We live in the United States of America. You can get your own firearms here, no problem. A lot of those firearms you can even get grenade launcher attachments and sights for, no problem. You can get dummy rounds. If there's a point in time where you actually need something like that, we have plenty enough stockpiles here in the United States of America. I'm sure that they will be doling it out like candy, just like they are in Ukraine. That's the thing, is that we have to be invaded by somebody. That somebody has to have significant enough numbers and significant enough a military to be able to actually invade us from either our northern border or our southern border. Don't get me wrong, it could be done by sea, but it would take a lot of doing. Where I am right now, it's real corrupt. With my face being, I guess, on A&E, I haven't seen the episode. A lot of people have all these ideas. They tell me what they would do if somebody did that shit to their family. The things that happened to mine. How easily they slip into that frame of mind, that hatefulness. The mama bear attitude, you know? For us guys, we're on our own, we know it. Most of us aren't hateful about it. Some of us are victimized perpetually for existing, though. And that's not cool. I didn't ask to be different. See, my dad's solution for every one of my problems is, well, you should try harder to be normal. Yeah, thanks, Dad. I'll let you know the day that works. There's a lot of people who said things that they meant well. They just didn't follow through. They didn't mean to follow through. They didn't mean to make the promises that they did, and so on and so on. I can understand that. I just don't understand why you wouldn't come forward about it. Either in court or to the public. Preferably both. But this stuff needed to be hashed out in court, and both sides needed to be seen, instead of police getting to try to frame me for a murder I didn't commit. And when it didn't work, well, how did things go then? They worked with multiple jurisdictions across the state of Colorado. There wasn't no need for that. Natalie Bollinger was my friend, and when she screwed up, she screwed up. It happens. Everyone screws up. I just wanted to be able to go see my friends and family again. That isn't too much to ask. A lot of those people, because of Natalie Bollinger's bullshit, I never got to see them ever again. They just ended up dead. Janine Barrett, I'll never see her ever again. Anna Hunka, I'll never see her ever again. I'll never see Christine Buhit ever again. I'll never see Tommy Gallia ever again. See, none of y'all stopped to think about what was taken from me. You're unwilling to believe that a man can be a victim. Meanwhile, that's what makes it so easy to be victimized. That's what puts us at the top tier for every type of abuse, by law enforcement and otherwise. If you're born a man, your guilt is assumed. It's assumed to be your fault that people are rapists sometimes. You have a penis, right? So it must magically be your fault that people do horrible shit. Meanwhile, I've never chosen anyone who a woman who has dated. I don't see how it's my fault. I'm a firm believer in the word no. It's horrible that I fought so hard to try to get people to understand that no means no, only to be told that it doesn't matter when I say it because I'm a guy. I can't possibly know or understand abuse because I'm a guy, or because I'm white. As if my skin color decides the right or wrong of it. Diplomacy first, Second Amendment second. Before you reach for violence, make sure that all other options are exhausted first. The cops did a lot of real dirty shit. And it's unfortunate that because people didn't listen to me, those predators went on to hurt other people. How many more people did Officer Waylon Lolatai hurt before he was forced to leave Boulder? Nobody wanted to listen to me about Officer Waylon Lolatai, and they refused to give me his name. Then I was refused the right to turn him in because I didn't have his name. You get to see that there's a lot of shit on my channel that sounds like it's crazy. But look at Hood River. Look at that church property. Look at the fact that it has been in the headlines. And I told you what was going on at that church. That parking lot was being run like a prison yard. And it absolutely is. I told you about the cops here in Tillamook and the drugs and who they're giving them to and why. Some of those people in their very own voices. I told you about Tillamook. I told you about Hood River. I told you about the Dalles. The Dalles, Oregon is where Jamie was assaulted on that church property while I was trying to turn in shit that happened in Hood River. I had to get out of Hood River for my safety, same as here. Police spreading rumors. Divide and conquer. They just run around to all the homeless people and talk shit about all the other homeless people. It's not very nice. And it does result in innocent people ending up dead, and that's not okay. Especially when those people are my friends or family. A lot of people tell me, hey, you should be nicer to the drug addicts. You know, they're addicts. I'm like, you know what? I'm the one out here taking care of them and being taken advantage of by them. And being told that it was my choice. After being told to go to these people, I went to them. They didn't do any good because they're addicts. People like Nicole Vertner referring me to people who are so fucked up they don't know their head from their tail a lot of the time, and they walk around zombified. I don't mean literally zombified. I mean, they're fucked up on drugs, and that consumes every moment of their life. Everybody out here is stuck in survival mode other than that. No way to protect themselves or their friends and family from all this. They can't afford to keep a roof over their head. And do you stop to consider the harm that that causes? I've been jumping through hoops for years. I can't function because of people harassing me and threatening me and bullying me everywhere I go. And the people who claim to be my friends and family, instead of helping me to turn it in right away, instead of, spending a little bit of time, instead of arguing or telling me what to do, what to think, and what to feel, without understanding what's going on, without taking a look. And of course, I have communication issues. And then we got police trying to pretend like I'm a schizophrenic drug addict. Can't even go to the fucking police for help. You know how hurtful that is? And then there's a lot of women that are absolutely batshit bonkers that watch this web sleuth shit. Since that A&E thing popped open, there's been a bunch of people wanting to invite themselves to a group I'm in charge of that was started by Katie Cahill. They're all interested in the case, and of course I don't have a team of people helping me, whereas the people who hate me, they fucking work together like a motherfucker. They have plenty of time for this shit, while the people who pretend to care about me, they're just trying to goat me for information. They're not actually trying to help. All of them procrastinate. Everyone. That's how it is when you're a guy. This is why guys commit suicide at 5 times the rate of girls. Starting at the age of 15. You just need to man up. BS. And I don't know how many women have told me they hope their son doesn't end up dating someone like them. Is that a tough pill to swallow? I do my best with what I got. There's a bunch of computer stuff I'm not able to do. The stuff I am able to do, people help me to learn how to do. There's a few things I stumbled across myself, and there's a lot of stuff that I learned through trial and error. But not having a place to do it where I am not rushed, especially now that all of my stuff is so old. I mean, I bought more than one computer to try to make sure that I could preserve the evidence, only to have that shit stolen from me by homeless fucking tweakers. And then we got them goddamn blue pills everybody wants to smoke. It's gross. Now hopefully the parking lot here will get a little more cleared out. My windows are pretty foggy. I suppose it's early enough I could probably go in and get something to eat. I got like $5 left to live on for the month. That should be enough, right? Damage control. You know, a lot of times you think something's a good idea and you reach for that violence. And someone innocent ends up getting hurt, or you end up getting hurt. We've taught women that when that happens, it's a man's fault. We've taught a man that when that happens, it's a man's fault. If a man is abused, it's his fault. If a woman is abused, it's his fault. No matter what, everything's always his fault. And we get to see what's considered a high-value man. What about guys like me who aren't interested in dating? Can't we just be human? Can't you just let us be human beings without treating us like we have to be horrible monsters? A lot of people have done dumb shit because they thought it was a good idea. What it results in is innocent people being hurt or killed. There's a lot of stuff you can do yourself. Absolutely you could. If you had the right equipment, the right materials, and all of that. A lot of people wanted to tell me about how they would shoot someone if their family was treated the way that mine has. That they would kill somebody if somebody pulled what the Bollingers pulled. Now, thank goodness they didn't kill anybody, because people certainly did pull some shady shit on them. And I begged them to come forward. Like, if you're gonna tell me people are threatening your family, especially telling me the cops are threatening your family, but then you don't want me to say anything, you don't want me to do anything, you want me to look the other way and to drop everything because you want to hide behind your kids. No, 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 no. You do not get to play me like a fool. If your kids are being threatened, I'll help you turn it in. It's important to put a stop to this shit instead of perpetuating it, which is what people chose to do. When it's a guy, that's generally how it is. We're not trained or taught to help a man the way that we're all taught that we're supposed to help women and children. Even if that man is disabled, that doesn't make any difference. He's a man, he should be able to do it himself. That's the way we treat it, without fail. I don't hate the people, I hate the decisions and the situations. There's a big difference. With the exception of Ted Bollinger, I don't think any of these idiots are irredeemable. But Ted Bollinger is a special kind of nasty. We got the words of multiple relatives of his, ex-wives and the like. There's a reason they're afraid of Ted. There's a reason I don't like Ted either. And it's not just because of what he did to Natalie. It's also because of what he and his daughter chose to do to me. And I'm not talking about Natalie, I'm talking about Alicia Bollinger. Every time she goes and does something stupid, it's my life and the lives of my friends and family that are threatened. Nobody made her do the things that she did. Nobody forced Natalie or Alicia Bollinger to lie. Nobody forced Maddie Boa to lie. They did it on their own. Each for their own selfish reasons. I get that being embarrassed really sucks. I do. But it's not my fault that you got embarrassed. It's not my fault that any of you get embarrassed. That's a simple enough motivation for most. Embarrassment. How many of y'all been embarrassed before? How many of y'all think it's okay to hurt people when you're embarrassed? I should probably end this video. It's not doing any good at this point. I just wish we lived in a better world where everybody was allowed to speak up. All victims should be allowed to speak their piece. And just because you don't want to see somebody as a victim doesn't mean that they're not capable of being victimized. Just saying.